Hi everyone, myself V. Ragumuni Raja, working from Shriram Engineering College as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. I'm taking the subject C programming and data structures in the EEE department. Today we discuss about topics data types in C. What are the data types in C available? What is mean by data type? First we discuss about data types. Data types is only from the foundation of data representations in C. Example, the every main functions to declare a data type and variable name should allocate what mean by data to describe the variables values. That is mean by every variable in C must be associated with a data type that defines the kind of value it can store and how the compiler handles it. And then the data types defines memory allocations, value, range and valid operations on a variables. The various types of classification of data types in C. Data types are broadly classified into three types. We are the first one basic data types and derived data types and user defined data types. What are the majorly basically three data type divided into three data types. First one is basic data types and second one is derived data types and third one is user defined data types. First one we discuss about basic data types, that is integer, float, double, character, boolean, void. These are all the basic data types. Derived data types, array, pointer and functions. And then user defined data types, union, structure, enumerated. First we discuss about basic data types. Basic data types, integer is primitive data types are the basic built-in data types in C used to store multiple simple values like integer, characters and floating point numbers. What is integer? Integer is means stores the whole numbers positive, negative or zero. We use int keyword. Int means int is small, that is a keyword to declare the integer variables. That is the integer with data types, the hold the memory location size is 4 bytes. To store a memory locations in a processor or compiler, to store a integer is memory size is 4 bytes. And then number number values only to store integer data types, that is known as the format specifier, that is percentage d. Format specifiers are the, what is mean by format specifier? Format specifier are the symbols that are used to printing and scanning values of the given data types. Just one example we can see. First one, hash include studio.h, that is header file of the C program. Next one, next line int main function, that is mean by main nearby open or closed parenthesis the declared by the functions, that is main functions used to C program to execute the statements. Next one, open curly braces, that is the syntax of main program. For this is mean by integer. Int is usually a keyword, that is a data type. Variable var, that is a variable name, equal to assign the integer values to variable names, that is declare the data type integer, that values variables is stored to 22. Printf variable var equal to percentage d, that is used to declare an integer data type, that is to use known as percentage d comma var. Return 0, return 0 is only used to main function integer declared. And then void main you use it to declare nothing, to return any data types. Void means nothing, a return empty type. Okay, okay, we clearly understand. The character data types to store a single character. Character likely represented as the apostrophe a capital A or B. That is the memory allocates the size is 1 byte. Format specifier used to percentage %d. That is another one, float data type to store decimal numbers with the fractional byte. It has the memory allocated size is to 4 bytes. Approximate range is the format specifier %f. Double data type to store a decimal number with more precision than float. That size memory allocated size is 8 bytes. Format specifier is %lf. Void that represents no value or empty type. Used in functions that do return any values. These are the primitive data types. And then derived data types. Derived data types are created from primitive data type. What is an array? Array is a collection of data types, same data type values to store in arrays. That is, the array representation is enclosed with square bracket. First one we declared int data type and array name, that is the size of an array used to square bracket. The size of an array is 5. The array represents the values to store start with an element 0 and then the size of n element is size of -1. That is used to declare the values to variables, curly braces 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, and then the pointers to store the memory address of another variables. Integer x, int x is the variable name, is equal to 10, and then the pointer is represents the star symbol, the pointer it to stores the x is the memory to address of the ampersand to use the pointer variables. Functions are also considered derived data types based on return type parameters. That is, integer data type used to add the function name and then to use it to enclosed parenthesis square enclosed parenthesis comma int a comma int b. This line means that functions with values with parameters and then return type. These are all the derived data types. And then user defined data types in structure, union, enumeration. Structure is a group of related variables under one different data types. That is declared as struct. Struct is a keyword. The student is a variable name. To use a declare the curly braces. Character is a data type. Name is a variable name. That is the size of an character is 50. Int is a data type and then age is a variable. To declare a curly braces to closed and then semicolon. This is the structure variables to declare a uses the follow the syntax. Union allows the multiple numbers to share same memory locations. Thank you.